Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator. Joining me now is Kaecy. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you here with me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. A little tired, the year's coming to a close, but doing good.
Awesome. Well, the way how we love kicking things off here is having our guests introduce themselves to our audience and let them know a little bit about your background and experience. So let's start with that.
Okay. My name is Kaecy. I am a singer-songwriter and podcaster from Pretoria in South Africa. I was born and bred in South Africa. I actually have a background in accounting. That's what I studied at school. But music has always been my passion, and that is what I'm pursuing now. I actually I'm a recording artist, so I've recorded an album which was released in 2017, October. And yeah, I've been performing everywhere in the country, and hopefully that will grow into other areas of the world.
Worldwide, globally.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love it. When did you discover your love for music?
Oh my God, it was after hearing Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. I must have been 4 or 5. In fact, one of the songs on my album says that now since the day that I heard her sing, and her sing is Whitney Houston. And yeah, that since hearing her sing, I fell in love with music, and I knew that I wanted to become a singer. So yeah, it must have been 4 or 5, but I only actively started pursuing it during university.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And what kind of songs do you like to perform? What kind of themes do you like to explore in your music?
Oh, love is a big thing, and not just romantic love, but like love for self, and others. So I pursue, those are the themes that I explore a lot. And of course, as a queer man, I'm open about that in my music, because I feel like there isn't enough of that happening. Well, when I started, there wasn't, but I see now that a lot of musicians, especially coming from the US, are literally coming out in their music, which is beautiful to see.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
Yeah.
tell me a little bit more about that for you. How does being queer, influence your music and the type of things you like to sing about and the representation you're trying to, put forward when it comes to what you sing and how you perform?
Yeah. I think, with regards to representation, I think it's important to show different facets, because how, the queer community is portrayed in the media has been quite one-dimensional. So, it's important for me, or people like me, to really come out in our full colors, and to show that, there are really different layers and different facets of the of the queer community, and how that has impacted the way I make music. Is that it has helped me to be a more honest artist, because when I started out, especially as a solo artist, I had to make the decision as to whether I'm going to sing about Mary when I really wanted to sing about John. And I chose to sing about John because that is who I am. So, being queer, it has helped me to be a lot more honest in my music.
Certainly. And were there any, when you first started performing, when your album first came out, were there any challenges that you would say that you encountered, especially with you being queer, a queer musician, someone who is putting that out there, within Africa as well? Were there any challenges when it came to that?
I mean, sure, because um, you just become very limited in terms of where you perform or who invites you to perform. But I'm lucky that I'm based in South Africa, so it's
Mhm,
not that difficult. However, people's attitudes are still quite conservative,
mhm.
and so. Um, what I've found is that you don't get booked as much because people are conservative, and they don't want an openly queer person singing to a largely heterosexual audience. So you're pretty much limited to queer events, which have really been where I have managed to perform a lot. But I do try to break the mold, and I do try to permeate other markets.
Oh, that is great. That is great. Well, looking forward to the new year, what are you excited about? And what can people get excited about looking forward to the new year when it comes to your music?
Oh man. So I've just concluded, or rather, let me say, I've just launched an incredible project, that has been in the works for about 3 years now, called We Two Are Called, which is an album and a documentary.
Mm,
Um, so I wanted to create a gospel album because, as queer people, our spirituality is pretty much ignored, and it's something that we're not really allowed to express or to
mhm.
participate in. So I then got my queer friends who are openly Christian to come together. And we recorded an album, but we also felt that it was important to have the stories of the people behind the music, the words, those stories to be captured on camera and to be
Oh,
told, tandem with the album, because people tend to forget and ignore. So I've just wrapped that up, and it's getting a lot of traction, which I'm excited about. Uh,
wonderful.
so yeah, looking forward to pushing that some more in the new year. But I'm also looking to release new music as a solo artist, because my last album was released in 2017. So yeah, lots of big things ahead of
Awesome,
me.
awesome. And I love the name We Two Are Called, because many are called, few are chosen, and many things think that queer
Yeah,
people, are not a part of that. They can't be a part of the remnant.
yeah,
So you're saying, of
absolutely.
course, we two are called. How
Yeah.
has it been, navigating, Christian spaces while being queer? How has that been?
It's tricky, right?
Mhm.
You know, because a lot of my peers leave the church. Now, I'm very active in the church. I sing in the choir. I am a deacon. I'm the church treasurer. So I'm quite active in the church, and a lot of uh, my queer friends, look at me like I'm crazy. And I don't blame them, because, the churches, can be quite toxic for queer individuals. And that's why, there's such an exodus of people like me. But I believe that, we need to stay. If your mental health can handle it, then you definitely need to stay. But obviously, if you can't, then choose your mental health and go where it's safe. But for me, I found that the more honest I am, the better. So trying very hard not to hide. Um, you do come across some really hostile, attitudes, but
Mhm.
um, It's one of those things that it's water off a duck's back at this stage. I'm 34, so I've been doing this for a while.
So tell me, what's something that you've learned, during the process of creating, this new collaborative effort, the album as well as the documentary? What have you learned from maybe the process or the people that you collaborated with, during that process?
Sure. Definitely trusting a bit more. I'm quite a control freak and I like things done in a certain way. And when you're working with a lot of people, it becomes very challenging for you to sort of trust that they will do what is required of them. So definitely putting trust in someone else, letting go, because also when you let go, that's when the real magic happens, because you just leave it to the universe and people, do show up. So I learned a lot to trust in other people. But, it was also just so amazing how everything sort of fell into place. And that made me realize that, there is, a plan and I don't know, it just felt good to know that you're actually not in control. The more you let go, the more you realize that you're not in control, and that things will fall into place because they're meant to be.
They are meant to be. I like that. That's a great way to think about it. Well, Kaecy, how can people find out more about you, keep up with what you're doing, as well as buy your music?
Thank you for that question. I do need the streams. Um, I am on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as Kaecy. That's KAECY_music. That's all on all social media. And my music is also available on all streaming platforms, or all major streaming platforms, iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, as Kaecy. And obviously now the We Too Are Called project is also available there under We Too Are Called. So yeah, that's how people can reach me.
Well, we will have the links in the description of this video, so viewers, go ahead and check that out. Kaecy, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been such a pleasure, and I wish you best of luck on your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And viewers, please follow Team Rayceen Productions on all forms of social media and click around our YouTube channel. Check out our other interviews, vlogs, forums, and more. And while you're at it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, thank you for watching.